That stuff's sort of like it's made like OSB, about a 1/2 inch thick, and it's got a rough texture already primed on the other side. And this is what we're going to use for the soffit. We're going to start in the gables with the solid stuff, and we got some wider stuff what's going to be used in the eaves for the vented soffit. Yeah. Now we're using this Skytrack 5028 for our scaffold. We got a 4x8 platform here we work off of. Has 4-wheel drive. He can get it anywhere he wants to, pretty much, as long as it ain't too muddy. See what we got for the framing up there is we already got a 2x4 overhang already built in these gables. They're right at 12 inches wide. So we're going to just put the soffit on first.
Right, you may be wrong. That's too big when you want. Yeah. All right, Dave, about 162.
162? No, that's a lot better stuff to handle right there. I mean, hell, I'd really fool that stuff right there. At the end of one is those cement boards.
Yeah.
All right, this piece of 1x6 right here, we're just going to let it run wild at the bottom. Put an 812 miter at the top. He's going to get it in the dead center of his overhang. All right, they're swapping their guns around. They're going to nail this other piece of fascia on. We already got the 812 cut at the top. It's about 1/8 at the bottom. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay, here's a look at the tools I'm using out here at the sawhorses. Well, first of all, I got some sawhorses. I got a 16-foot 2x6 for a cutting board. It just keeps this thin stuff from being too flimsy. All right, I like a steel framing square because I don't ever have to worry about it being bent and checking it and stuff like that. This is a 7 1/4 circular saw with a framing blade on it. All right, and I got a speed square, a 25-foot tape measure, and a carpenter's pencil. That's all I need out here. I'm just gonna use my finger for a guide on the saw. Check myself here. It's good here, but I got a little spot on me there. I can see it. All right, you can see the perforations are to the outside here. Yeah, but I didn't charge my battery last night. You got a nice clean cut right there.
Yeah, it's real perfect.
That's what I got.
Got her, man. We got her.
I beveled both those little scrap pieces on a 10 degree. He's just seeing how they fit. All right, what he's doing there now, he wasn't satisfied with the way the roofers had cut the shingles around the overhang, so he put some flash in at the bottom, and now he's going to put a piece up the side too. Being underneath this piece of Myotech, this fascia that he's measuring now. Asked for a little piece of 1x on a 512, and it didn't fit exactly right, so we took 3/16 out of one side to the other. Now he's going to retest it for a perfect fit. That good?
That's Patrick.
All right, he's testing his board with his other little scrap powder. Bill said his fit was good. He's satisfied with his cut at the bottom, so.
Perfect with mine, all I tell you. Are you confident?
Now I put a 6 degree on the top of that one. It's the same degree as the little scrap board he had. So what he's going to do, as long as he's satisfied with his fit, is just let this end at the bottom just run wild. All right, our next little task is going to be this porch. We didn't use a beam because there wasn't any load because of the trusses. So we just ripped down some 2x10s, 7 or 8 inches, I forget, and just framed a little wall all the way around it. Now we're going to wrap that with this 3/4 inch finish. Even though we done established this angle on the other side, he's going to recheck it later to make sure it's going to be exactly perfect. All right, they nailed one of them up there. Let's go give them something to measure to from the top.
And I thank you. I don't got it. About 3/8, that place. I'm gonna go 147 3/4.
Short point of a 6 degree, right? See what they did, they used a line to straighten up the outside sub fascia. Now they got the soffit nailed into it, so it won't go anywhere when they nail the outside fascia into it. It's pretty solid now. Now what he's doing up there, he's running into a little bit of an issue with these boards not being wide enough. So he's trying to figure out something to do without having to order any more material. Okay, for the what we call bird boxes, I got a little piece of just 12-inch solid soffit here, and I already got a little bevel on one end. This piece is going to be oriented like it's right here. All he's going to do is stick it up and under his overhang and get a mark across the bottom.
Mark it, I'll cut it.
All right. Cut it. And now what we got here is some 4x8 plywood panels for the soffit underneath the porch. Got little grooves cut in it to like simulate beadboard. One end laps over the other, so it's got a male and female side. It's pretty thin, about 5/16 of an inch thick. We hadn't actually fooled with this type of material here, but it should go up pretty easy. What they did, they popped a line out from the wall at 48.5 inch.
What? When you get them hooked so much, they can't let it. When you get them hooked so much, they gotta let you have it. Right there, buddy. Right there.
Boy, you pretty slick.
What?
Don't
look at me. You know where you always supposed to go, where everything's working. What do you think, brother? Don't be your damn line, don't fast, please. You gotta get tight. What you gonna do?
That's what he's saying. You got to be on the line, no matter what.
To prove it.
Yeah, on this right here, it's not fitting anything anyway. I'm just gonna go by the guide on the table. Bad habit about it. The only thing you got to consider when you're cutting this stuff here, you want the factory edges to meet. So if you turn the edges to the outside, they'll be covered up with another board, so they don't have to be as perfect that way. All right, what we ended up with here is a rip 28¼ inches wide. Wouldn't have made any difference if it was less than 2 foot. It takes that factory end to lap the other end, so we couldn't have got 2 pieces out of one no matter what. Somehow or another, the lumber company shorted us 2 pieces, so we'll have to get that in on the shipment in the morning. What he decided to do on these other boards, it wasn't wide enough. Instead of putting a split down the middle, just order some wider boards, you know. Now what he's got's a 5/4 board, 5.5 inches wide. It's going to go underneath the soffit right there on the porch. What the siding will stop at when we went. Decided to do that a little bit different. He turned a piece vertical. He's going to let this one butt into, instead of just butting into the beam. We didn't have the material for the beam, so he just simulated that piece with another just scrap block. He's just making sure he nails into the studs. Now what he's asking me for is split this 1x8 into 4 pieces, rip it 4 pieces wide. It amounts to 1 3/4 inches. So all I'm going to do is go by the graduations on the saw table here for a rip guide. In case you're wondering why out of 7¼ inch board we got 4 pieces, 1 3/4 inches, and they're all equal size. The reason for that is because we made 3 cuts, and you lose the amount of blade you lose the saw blade curve. That's gone. That just disappears in the sawdust. So you got to take that into consideration when you're dividing the board up like that. We got 2 of these boards nailed together, and he's simulating the corner with that. Pretty difficult job to measure this piece right here. So what he's going to do, come on down to me, Doyle. Or you need to go into the wall, though. You overlapped your other piece. Cut it with a little Dremel too.